Welcome back to another review, this time for the anime An Observation Log of My Fiancée Who Calls Herself a Villainess, which had 12 episodes and was airing in spring of 2026. Synopsis on any list. Bertia is reincarnated into her favorite otome game, not as a heroine, but as a villainess engaged to the perfect crown prince Cecil. Fully aware that her role is to sabotage his future romance, she's determined to bloom as a wicked flower and wither away according to the story. But no matter how hard she tries to scheme, her evil plans only make her more endearing. So we have another entry into the otome kind of shows. Our girl gets reincarnated into her favorite game. She's a villainess. The setup is pretty much known. It's a simple setup. We have seen this a lot of times. Now our villainess is Bertia, the red-haired girl in the picture. And the prince is the blonde guy Cecil. Now, the difference here is that instead of just following Bertia the whole time, we see a lot of it out of the viewpoint of Cecil, the prince, because it's his observation log. We see what he is thinking about Bertia, how she behaves, what she's doing. Naturally, Cecil's character is a little bit special because story-wise he doesn't really show much emotions. He's very smart. He can pick up everything really quickly. He's a genius, but as a cost, he is not emotionally. He's not that developed. Or he doesn't really connect with people that way. And we see that out of his viewpoint. He's pretty cold at the beginning. He's very much just gain oriented. What is going to help him? What is going to be beneficial? And Bertia, she is awakening a little bit of interest in him. She feels a little bit like a pet to him. And it's amusing to have her around because he can't really tell what she's going to do next. Naturally, Bertia uses her knowledge of the otome game to influence the world around her, but she's set on being the villainess. She wants to be the big bad that then gets defeated. She wants to fulfill her role. Now, the problem is with all the stuff she influences in the story doesn't unfold how it should be. So it doesn't end up with her as villainous. Surprise. It's a part of again, the setup is pretty simple. You probably have seen it a bunch of times already. But she doesn't succeed as a villainess. She just does not. The synopsis is telling that her evil plans only make her more endearing. What else? Character-wise, Bertia, she is very positive. She's trying her hardest. The problem is, she's not a bad person. So she can't really do evil. And that is already a big problem if she wants to be the big villainess. So there's not really problems. The prince, again, he emotionally can't really connect, but he is pretty smart. All things apart from emotional connections. The problem I have, there are two big things for me here. One of them is that, the story is pretty straightforward. I have seen this a bunch of times already. It is just, hey, I'm going to take the classic formula that works, character has an otome game she likes. She gets reincarnated into that game as not the heroine, as some other character, most of the time Villainess. But stuff changes. She's changing the story in some way, and my twist is that we get to see a lot of it out of the viewpoint of a third party, which I do feel like is a pretty good idea. But the rest of the story is pretty cookie cutter for me and doesn't really add much. It also is not really, it doesn't really do much in the romance department for me as well. Also, the characters are not really acting in a smart way. And with that I mean Bertia primarily, and the heroine we get introduced to later. Because with Bertia's influence, the storyline changes. I mean, not by much, but she's not the villainess. A lot of stuff is also changed that would have put villains into the story. But she still is trying to follow the script, but the script is already gone. And it's like, at what point are you going to accept that you can't follow the script? The script is not there anymore. You follow, you are like, okay, this is an event, this is what should happen, but the thing that should happen doesn't happen, and you are like, okay, next event, this should happen, it doesn't happen again. At what point, after going through event after event that doesn't go the way the game should have gone, at what point are you going to be like, hey, the story changed, I should change my approach as well? But somehow it doesn't go that way. Bertia, quite honestly, pretty dumb as a character. It is being played as very comedic, and again, she's very positive, so it's not really that she's just not accepting that stuff changes. She's not really thinking about stuff changing. So those are the two problems for me in the show. Naturally, I feel like these shows are not aimed at me. I do love isekai. I don't have a problem watching isekai. I don't like the cookie cutter stuff. It's just, why are we repeating the same thing over and over? Nonetheless, so let's go to ratings. Otherwise, I mean, animation is fine. Art style is fine. No complaints, really. Voice acting, also no complaints. Now, AnyList has it at 75%. My anime list 7.66 with 9.2k users. This is a good rating. I just want to say that people seem to be positive about the show. So if you want to listen to most of the people, there you go. For me, I would say it's like a 7 out of 10. It has a little bit here and there, the whole idea of we see this out of the third party is a novel idea. I don't really like that two of the big characters are pretty dumb. The prince is pretty smart, and I have to say, even though he emotionally, it doesn't really work out because it's part of the story, but he is pretty smart otherwise. He's doing what I would assume a smart person would do. He's not just going to dismiss stuff if he can use the information, and he does multiple times. So no problems really with the prince. I mean, he's pretty sadistic, but yes, that is something else. But as two of the big characters are pretty dumb, they just don't accept that the storyline changes. They just want to try to stay with the script.